You thought I was playing a movie. I'm not. Well, power went out, but I am back. Still alive. Somehow. Ready for the game to give me a scolding because I didn't log out properly. But hey, if you're still alive, hello? Welcome back, thank you. It was just a really small power cut, but obviously everything went out. Everything was dead. Oh, it isn't scolding me. Saraki. Smint, when are we playing this? Never? Sounds good. I see you're waiting for throw. You only want to play if throw plays. I get it. Just enjoy watching it. I never enjoyed watching an MMO, actually. For more WoW style or New World? I don't even know what New World is. Looks nice, bunch of masteries gathering and stuff, it's nice. This has gathering too. If you want to gather, you can gather. You can gather to your heart's content. Too much effects for my taste. Alright. You like the bland games, I get it. I get it. Nothing that looks good. Sure. This game is on a console. And characters look too nice. Hello? Preparations for a trial are underway, Ashot. The Adventurers Guild has sent impartial judges to review the facts. The evidence has been organized and guards are standing ready to take Wawood from his cell to the seventh heaven. All we need to begin is your copy of Noble Gold. So live in some MMO like Death Stranding or something? What? Death Stranding works because the isolation. An MMO would be awful, I think. The court recognizes Master Wildwake. That style of gameplay? Maybe. In conclusion, Wawood kidnapped honest people and experimented on them. And why? To prolong his own life. Proof of this lies with these clones. Soulless puppets he created. This man is guilty beyond all doubt. Damning evidence, Master Wildwake, but only if the accused is Wawood and an alchemist. He currently denies both. Sir, we can prove that he's lying. This grimoire was found on Wawood, and the master of the Alchemist Guild has stated that only the most skilled of alchemists could create such a tome. Oh, I see. By showing that Wawood created this grimoire, you also demonstrate that he's a master of alchemy, yes? Precisely. The creator's ethereal signature is mirrored in the ink used to draw arcane geometries. This hue is unique to each alchemist. We've obtained a powder from the Alchemist's Guild that will allow us to see this color. May we have your permission to use it? By all means, proceed. This is Ashlot, a leading and recognized alchemist. She has consulted through this case. Excuse me. As you can see, the color of her aether is blue. Now allow me to demonstrate on the grimoire that Ashlot made. The self-same blue, so you can identify a grimoire's maker. Next, I'll perform the same experiment on Wawood. Crimson. Now what are the grimoire you found on him? It's potato colored. What if he bought it on a store? Also, I didn't make that grimoire. I bought it. Crimson. That clinches it. You, sir, are Wawood. What say you in your defense? He's been silent as the grave all this time, as if the spirit's gone right out of him. He's a clone too. Only rich people do that stuff, maybe. That's the real Wawood. After him. Oh, what? Wawood's soul is inside that clone. Well, Ashlot, we're sitting pretty thanks to you. Well, we did it. Their Near Eastern youth was Wawood's clone. Who would have thought it? How could we have missed that? He meant to gain eternal life by transferring his soul to a new vessel. Think or body? The younger the body, the longer he could use it. Very true. I have a suspicion that Wawood allowed us to apprehend this copy. A guaranteed escape route if he if he were captured, if he ever were captured, rest assured he will pay for his crimes. He meant to leave on borrowed time, and we will make him suffer for all of it. But justice was served. We couldn't have done it without you, Ashlot. I hope we meet again. Though I'd be pleased to give another grisly murder a miss. But the thrill of solving it was something, eh? Let's hope we meet next under happy circumstances. Until then, Ashlot. Oh, I get all three. Nice. This concludes the Alchemist's quest for Final Fantasy XV Heavensward. Well, we finished The Alchemist. Which is nice. But I see you still haven't chosen a proper Moogle name, Koopa. What will you ask of me today? There are those from the surface that wish to know the history of this land. Very well. If you vouch for them, I see no reason to refuse their request. However, I would ask one thing of you in return. The Muggles wish to live in peace, and we can't do that if war rages across the land, Koopa. As long as our desires are understood, I'd like nothing more than to meet these new friends. Now, where can we find this Sir Handaloo? Excellent, Koopa. I shall dispatch members of the Palm Guard to escort him at once. Ashlot, please go along with them. They may be shy around so many new visitors from the surface, Koopa. This is neat, but I hope there's a cool reward after. The story is better than what I actually have to do. 'Cause I don't mind the side quest content in terms of reading. Some of the tasks are a little mundane. Welcome to the Churning Mist, Koopa. Moglin has told us about you. It's our pleasure to guide you to Mogholm. Ah, where are my manners? I am Commander Andaloop of the Temple Knights. We're honored to receive your guidance. Furthermore, we appreciate your willingness to impart on us your knowledge of the Churning Mists. If there is aught you would require in return, we would gladly repay your kindness. Sir Antelope, you come from a large city on the surface, yes? You might have exactly the knowledge we need, Kupo. We've long yearned to learn how to repair stone structures. If we did, we could repair Zenith with our own paws. Us Mughals have a sacred agreement with the great worm Raisvulgar that binds us to protect the Holy Tower, but after 1,000 years, time has worn its luster. Zenith is beloved by Raisvulgar and stands as a symbol of the friendship between the landlords and skylords. If we could restore its former glory, maybe the bond between your two races would be revitalized as well. Indeed, the Holy Sea's knowledge of stoneworking is vast. Very well. Although the road ahead may be difficult, I will do all within my power to convince the Holy See to send stonemasons and carpenters to do what they can. You are too kind, Kupo. However, there is one more thing I must ask of you. It may be too soon to allow so many people from the surface into Raisvulgar's beloved tower. It could unnerve him. For now, we would ask that you teach us what you can at Mogholm, and then we can use our own paws to repair Zenith. It may start with us repairing but a single brick, but if we keep at it, soon Zenith will sparkle, as it hasn't in a millennium, Kupo. I understand the Mughals' concern. I know all too well that 1,000 years of animosity cannot be forgotten overnight. Let us work with diligence, and brick by brick we shall rebuild that which has been lost. I'm glad we've come to an agreement, Kupo. Now let us be off to Mogholm. There is so much to share with you. Nice. I assume there's a new quest there. Tricks and stones. Is it a crafter quest? Remind me, can I go here? The 2 cans of night milk you put for sale have been sold. I guess not. Disciple of the Hands. God's damned Muggles! They'll lose their bloody pom-poms if they weren't attached to their heads. I can't find my nuts, Koopo. Find my pebbles, Koopo. You want to know where your pebbles are? I'll tell you right after I shove them up your bleeding... you're not one of them. Thank that gods. Finally someone capable of sensible conversation. You see, I was sent here at the Temple Knight's behest to teach stone masonry to these creatures. However, as soon as I arrived, they bombarded me with menial tasks, and before long I found myself traipsing aimlessly across the churning mists. I know the feeling. I'll endure it no longer. It's time I bid good riddance to this place and its inhabitants. Madam, I'm loath to ask you to suffer such wretched company, but could you inform the one named Mughull that I shan't be returning? I dare not go myself, lest my temper get the best of me. Beast tribe? Oh no. To unlock the Beast tribe. Makes sense, I guess. Well met, adventurer. The Palm Guard remains vigilant as ever. What brings you to Mogholm? A sudden craving for Koopo nuts? Another stone mason has gone home, Koopo. At least this one bothered to inform me, in a manner of speaking. I suppose I can't blame him for leaving. He was only trying to help us repair Zenith. They're sent here to survey the area and teach us what they know of working stone. Alas, the Muggles are more concerned with who can concoct the cleverest trick than who can build the sturdiest wall. They don't do it out of malice, it's just an impulse, like breathing or hiding. But the Ishgardians don't view it that way. So far, this is the 9th stone mason that's left us. I fear Sir Andaloop may be regretting his decision to help. As the representative of Mogholm, I must offer him an apology and an explanation. Adventurer, will you guide me to Ishgard so I might mend this situation? What a relief, Koopo. I tend to get terribly lost when traveling on my own. I trust your preparations are complete? Excellent. Then let's be off. It seems you are going on your own. Why do I need to be a crafter to unlock this? Greetings, Sir Andaloop. If it isn't Mogul and Ashlot, an unexpected visit, but a welcome one. For I had been hoping to speak with you of our stonemasons. Each one has returned within a fortnight, more wroth than the last. They claim the Muggles are proving to be less receptive to their teaching than they had anticipated. Sir Andaloop, my deepest and most sincere apologies, Koopo. The others only meant to make the stonemasons feel welcome by including them in their mischief. They never meant to anger. I swear on my honor as a palm guard that it will not happen again. For the sake of friendly relations, I'm more than willing to put this misunderstanding behind us and begin anew. And as we have already sent you every stonemason we can spare, then I fear there is little hope in convincing any of them to return to Mogholm. You haven't sent every stonemason, my dear Hindloop. Lord Terrason, what brings you to the congregation? Let us dispense with the titles, shall we? Then surely you can surmise why I am here. Every one of those thin-skinned milksops was a pupil of mine. How would it reflect upon me if I let their negligence bring this project to ruins? Besides, this task came to us directly by the Holy See, and failure would result in my family becoming a laughingstock for generations to come. So you see, for both personal and familial honor, I must take up my hammer and succeed where my students have failed. Alas, I am well past my prime. The hammer weighs heavy in my hand, and my mind dulls with age. Alone, I fear I might fall victim to the clever deceptions of the Mughals, or my body might crumble under the stress of so much physical labor, perhaps with the help of a young, stout adventurer. One who has won the respect of the Mughals, one who is well versed in their ways. Only with such a partner could this old man possibly hope to keep his honor from being sullied. Do you know of any such adventurers, friend? Pray tell me you do. I do not know. Can't think of anyone. What courage! Did you see that in the loop? The strapping young lass put her name forward without a second thought. Truly you have brought solace to this tired old man's heart, my dear Ashlot. Koopel? I'm not sure I understand. Are you saying both you and the adventurer will help us? Indeed, my furry friend. You shall be well taken care of. Now our first order of business should be to gather all who are involved in the restoration. Mogul, I entrust that task to you. Thought and I shall not be far behind. Before we depart, however, we have some work of our own to complete. You see, I meant to show the Mughals that they are not the only ones with a penchant for trickery. Come, meet me at the Jeweled Crozier and we can begin preparations. Yes, big shrug. Why is he hiding in the corner? Here you are. Before we begin, I would draw upon you the knowledge of the Mughals. Namely, I wish to know what foods they're partial to, for I believe therein we shall find the means to deceive them. Kupo nuts. So their makeshift economy revolves around these Kupo nuts. Why, this plan practically crafts itself. Our next course of action is plain, and I believe you are just the last to rise to the challenge. For your hands speak volumes that your words do not. They are the hands of a practiced artisan much like my own. There is no need for humility, my friend. You are among peers, and as your peer I would be honored to call upon your aid. I ask that you craft me a Kupo nut. Not a real one, mind you, but a fake, which could fool even the most discerning Mughal. As I have never laid eyes on a Kupo nut myself, I must entrust this task to you. I require only one, which I shall use to make more. I believe with the proper application of dye and wax you can craft a Kupo nut that will both look and feel like the real thing. Here, I believe these materials should prove sufficient. Now I know full well that even the master has her failed attempts, and so have instructed Mathia here to provide you with more materials should you require them. How goes your work, Ashlot? There's no need to rush. I would not want a masterpiece to be marred by a hasty hand. Hey, I crafted something. So this is a Kupo nut. Although I'm not a Moogle, I'm certain that if I was, my stomach would be rumbling at the sight. Impressive, considering the meager materials we had on hand. No doubt you are wondering what I plan to do with this. Do not worry, I would not dare spoil the surprise for you. For now, just know that I intend to make more. It may take some time. So pray go on ahead to the plaza near Zenith. I shall meet you there. Welcome to Barlands, Ashlot. Truth be told, this place is in even worse shape than I was led to believe. I suppose even a fortress begins with a single stone. My apologies, Lord Thurston. I urged the Mogmanders to meet us here, but they all claim to be busy with something or other, maybe a while before they arrive. Tarson will suffice, my dear Mogul, and there is no need for apologies. From my understanding, the Mogmanders have laziness in abundance. While we are waiting, answer me one question. Who among them is easiest to trick? That would be Master Mogzin, without a doubt, Kupo. He was put in charge of the Mogmanders on account of his deft paws, but he falls for their tricks more often than not. One time he spent 3 days playing hide-and-seek while the others gorged on Kupo nuts. Such deviousness! I doubt I can surpass so clever a ploy. Nonetheless, I must try. Mokul, I believe Ashlot and I can take over the reins from here. We shall have the Mogmanders hire the Tuareg here long. You mean to out-trick the Mogmanders, Kupo? Fascinating. I had no idea you played tricks on each other down below. Of course I look forward to hearing of your victory. Oh, I do hope he hides his pebbles. When building a wall, we are taught that a single ill-placed brick can cause a whole structure to collapse. I believe this Master Mogzin may be our figurative loose brick. Now let us seek him out. He cannot be far. We didn't ask where he is.
Nine stone masons, Kupo. Surely they are praising my cleverness in Ishgard. How should I trick the next one? Oh, I know. A rare sickness which strikes once every 100 years and causes our pom-poms to...
Master Mogzin of the Mogmenders, I presume. I am Terrason, freshly arrived from Ishgard. Forgive me for eavesdropping, but I overheard mention of a sickness. Is there aught I need to worry about?
You're here already. Yes, a terrible, incurable sickness has spread throughout Mogholm. One last seen over 1,000 years ago. Once afflicted, our wings grow heavier than stones. We can do nothing but lie on the ground helpless until it passes.
I see. Such unfortunate timing. Well, I suppose we must postpone our work for now. May you and yours be in good health soon. 'Tis a pity, truly. Whatever shall I do with all these Kupo nuts?
Did you say Kupo nuts here? Now?
Why, yes, I brought a veritable feast, which I meant to share with the Mogmenders as a gesture of goodwill. Alas, we shall have to wait. A sickness which comes once every 1,000 years surely requires proper...
Did I say sickness? Perhaps I was mistaken. Yes. Perhaps they weren't sick after all. Just napping. How embarrassing. Luckily for you, however, that means the rest of the Mogmenders are hale and hearty. I'll summon them and meet you at Barley's forthwith.
Ha! By the gods, I was hoping for a bit more sport than that. Perhaps if he said Kupo nuts were a miraculous cure to this epidemic, I could have pretended to believe him. Well, what's done is done. Come, let us away to Barles and meet our new companions.
Lols. As promised, I've gathered my most skilled Mogmenders. Now I believe there was talk of a feast.
Indeed, they have the paws of true artisans. Now for the feast, let me start off our relationship by offering this bounty to you.
They look so plump and so juicy, Kupo, and all this for a little effort. As master of the Mogmenders, I declare first privileges. That's not how a Kupo nut tastes. It's a fake. How could something that looks so delicious be so disappointing?
My dear Mogzin, it seems the tables have turned. Indeed, these nuts were wrought by man, not born of nature. Even better than the real thing, yes? Well, besides the taste, of course.
They're all fake? There's not even a real one tucked away inside, Kupo. Perhaps we should check once again just to be sure. I dare say these would fool even Chieftain Moglin, and no one has ever been able to trick him. Truly works of art, Kupo.
This is but a small sampling of our capabilities, friends. I've built towers and raised walls that rival the largest in the churning mists. Yes, even Zenith.
You mean you can make Kupo nuts even larger than these? Larger than Zenith?
Perhaps I could, if I had the inclination. However, I offer you something better. Put your paws to me, and I shall teach you how to craft aught you can imagine, alas I will make this offer only once, so what say you?
Anything we can imagine, Kupo. Of course. We swear on our pom-poms to be diligent pupils. Why, I'm ready to start preparing Zenith this very moment.
That's the spirit I like to see. But we have a long road ahead of us, my Moogle-menders. Before we start work on the palace proper, I believe we would do well to begin by repairing this very plaza. What you learn here shall form a solid foundation for what's to come.
Well, now that things have settled, I do believe formal introductions are in order. I am Mogzin, master of the Mogmenders. I never knew that a crafter was capable of what a crafter was capable of until I saw those fake Kupo nuts. With even a fraction of such skill, I've no doubt that we could restore Zenith to its former glory. Still, I can't help but wonder what we could have accomplished had we listened to the other 9 stonemasons. Oh well. I suppose there's no use racking my pom-pom over the past. Besides, you and Tarson are so much more kind and patient than the others. You do plan to stay and teach us, right? We'll work every day until our paws are sore and our cheeks are flushed. I promise you that, Kupo. Piss off, Kupo. Truly, Kupo, the others will be overjoyed to hear it. Mogmenders, let us go forth, tools in paw, and make Zenith shine once more. Thanks to your efforts, the restoration of Barles has begun. Continue assisting the Mogmenders to see repair of the plaza completed. No thanks. I just wanted to unlock it. V-Stripe quest unlocked. Mog eat mog. What? Can purchase wares from whom? Oh. Repairs. Alright. Well, is this all done? Huh. Well, let's do Sea of Clouds.
Why in the seven hells would a Moogle be here? Well, now that you mention it, Gildon was going on about Kupo something or other. You might know something that can help you. If you can stand his rambling, you can find him in the Rose House. Moogles? As much as I'd like to help you, I've never seen one of those in all my days. The only excitement I've had the luck to deal with is the dwindling wine stores. I swear those barrels must come to us half drunk already. I'm sure. Mistress Leonhardt, I was but this moment thinking of you. I had hoped to speak with you at Sir Aymric's investiture, but circumstances conspired to prevent me from attending. Mayhap you will allow me to say now what I could not say then. On behalf of House Leonhardt and all of Ishgard, I offer unto you my deepest and most humble thanks. You risked your life to stand against our sworn enemy and freed us from a millennium of torment. Though we can never hope to repay you, we will ever remember you and your deeds. That our children and their children's children might know the woman to whom they owe their lives. I can see that the grand investiture would have been a more fitting occasion for such words, but I could not risk them being left unspoken. What brings you this way? As you can see, Camp Cloudtop remains much the same as it did during the war, though we need no longer watch the skies for Dravanian outflyers. The Vanu have proven themselves similarly worthy of our attention. Oh no. I say, old girl, you have the most uncanny ability to appear whenever I least expect you. But enough about that. Honoroid? Yes, my lord. Lady, I'm pleased to report that we succeeded in infiltrating Vundu territory and there observed the Beastman harvesting crystals at several different sites. Based on the volume of crystals acquired during our period of surveillance, I've prepared an estimate of how much time I believe it will take the Vundu to gather sufficient crystals for summoning. I've also taken the liberty of drafting several proposals outlining how the Rose Knights might prevent such an eventuality, such as raiding these sites and securing their stores, as well as a detailed assessment of the risks involved should you choose to proceed. By the Fury! I gathered you were clever, but I was not aware that you were capable of this. With respect, you are wasted on your master. Hardworking, full of potential? Aye, I think there's a place for you here with the Rose Knights, if you would have it. That you would even consider taking me into your service is a tremendous honor, my lady, and were I free to do so, I would gladly accept, but I am pledged to another, as you well know. Regrettable, but understandable. I take comfort in the fact that a youth of your talent and character will never want for opportunities. Pledged to another, you rascal! I thought I saw you whispering in young Solid's ear the other day. You certainly wasted no time wooing our newest maid. There will be no secrets between us. You must tell me everything. Where you've been sneaking off to together. What adventures you've been having, every little detail. Don't you dare leave anything out. I'm sure he will not. In any event, you have jointly exceeded my expectations. I grant you leave to return to the city. Should the need arise, I shall call upon you again.
Thank you, my lady. I believe we shall do as you suggest. Until we meet again, Mistress Leonhardt. Not so fast. The next airship isn't due for another hour, and we have so much to talk about. On our right. For all the ladies' disdain, it was an old familiar dance. To her, Lord Amandelaine would always be the boy fumbling for a compliment, and perhaps there was comfort in that, a memory of home on the bleak frontier.
Did you say Muggles? Thank the gods, finally someone who believes me. Like I've been telling everyone, I heard a strange voice saying Kupo Kupo near Zundu to the north. I know what I heard, and there isn't anyone who can tell me otherwise.
Not okay. Ok Zundu. I'm sure that's how you're supposed to say it. Can I get these Muggles so I can finish these quests on the other places? What is this? Hey, I say, these villains mean to plunder my cargo.
What have we got here then? Think you're some sort of hero, do you? Well then you won't mind if me mates here join the fun. Make for a more heroical tale, won't it? The tale of how 3 sky pirates fed a meddling little shite her own bloody eyes.
Yeah, let's rumble.
What the? Oh gods, I know that ship, it's...
Sir, the Scrags would have been dragging our good name through the mud.
You're Red Bill Loafard. We ain't done nuts to you or yours. What do you want with us?
I think I made my position pretty clear. You take on the manless sky pirate, you agree to a certain code of conduct, and codes ain't worth much if folk go around breaking them. Frankly, lads, you're making us look bad, and we can't have that. No hard feelings, though, eh?
Rip.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Leofard. Thank you. I'm certain my master will wish to repay you.
If your employer does business in Ishgard, he likely knows a merchant or two what trades with me associates. Tell him to say it's for Leofard, and any reward should reach me soon enough. As for you, adventurer, 'tain't often someone beats me to the scene, but then I'd expect not less from a hero such as yourself. And Schlot? That is who you are, ain't it? I don't know too many other lasses with one of the marvelous manicutter the ironwork streamed up. Well then, it seems you've saved me the trouble of tracking you down. I'd been hoping to have a word with you see? I'll put it to you straight. I need someone to help out with a little venture I have in mind, someone used to taking a few risks. Now, this wouldn't be no black-hearted brigand's work, so don't go worrying yourself on that account. And like them thieving curs just now, I don't hold with robbing honest folk. For me, you see, the Sky Pirate's life is all about freedom. The freedom to go where you will, to find out what lies beyond the next cloud. If you're interested in joining us on an adventure worthy of the name, then look for me standard in the northern reaches of the Blue Window. Someone will be waiting there to greet you. Where is that? Ah, the netherling seeks white fluff, which flies like gaily cat. Kanu Valley looks to sky and sees only clouds. Clouds speak only in thunder and wind. Kanu Valley hears not this scoople. Netherling speaks of Mughals. Hanuvanu knows not such flying animals. Sea of Clouds own to only gaily cats, Tanua, and meddlesome insects. Netherling seeks animal which flies like soaring cloud. Kunu Valley only sees clouds in skies.
Gunavano says something of strange whispers brought by distant breeze. Ask him what they might mean. Netherling should. Ah, Netherling, too many moons passed since last meeting. What do you seek of Gonavano? Ah, yes. Not long ago, Gonavano found brother cowering in shade. Speaking of strange voices under bridge lies outside of Xundu. Maybe Netherling find Mughals there? Oh, I see them. Oh, were you looking for me, Kupo? Thank the heavens someone found me. You see, I was looking for Mughals in the sky, but there are so many mean-looking monsters, Kupo. Under this bridge was the safest place. You mean Moghome is all the way on the other side of the sky? What a waste of an airship trip. Well, with you to guide us, at least we know where to go next, Kupo. Well, I'm overjoyed that we'll finally be able to meet the Moghome Mughals, Koopa, but we can't celebrate yet. We need to find two Mughals that came up here with me. We split up to search for Moghome, so they could be anywhere near here, Koopa. Hopefully they haven't been split off too far. If they've been attacked or worse, there's no way I could forgive myself, Koopa. Yeah. I didn't want to be doing side quests here, like, only one at a time. I wanted to finish the Moghome quests. Ooh, what is this? What a cool place. Oh, you surprised me, Koopo. What's that? Kooply Cookie sent you to look for me? Thank heavens. That mean-looking bird monster attacked me and I ran behind these rocks. I didn't know where to go. So, Kooply Cookie is hiding under a bridge. Safety and shade. Sounds perfect. I'll go meet him right away, Koopo. Wait, I thought he lost two Mughals. There's two Mughals total? What a wonderful reunion! I fear that we would never meet again, and our party at Moghome would be but a dream, Koopo. Well, only one more Mughal left, Koopo. Oh no. It's different quests. Only one more missing Mughal. Adventurer, you've seen all the scary beasts out here there. We need to find them before something terrible happens. It seems the Mughal fluttered off to the east when the giant bird attacked, Koopo. We better hurry. That's right, we'll all be going this time. You mean less back and forth? That can't be. I don't see any sign of a pom-pom here. Oh no, what's that? It's a Koopo nut. We brought some from the Twelveswood to give to the Moghole Muggles. What could they be doing here? We'd best pick them up. It would be a shame to let them go to waste, Koopo. But look at all these monsters. Adventurer, you look like you can handle them. Why don't you gather the Koopo nuts? Because I'm not your servant? Being over-leveled rocks. Monsters don't even attack me because they're so afraid. What dungeon is this? The beauty of Neverrape is like a rainbow in the sky on a summer's day. The cruel Vundu surely it with their presence, yet we are powerless to drive them away. This might be something I don't have yet. Well, were you able to find the Koopo nuts? Thank you, adventurer. We brought 5 Koopo nuts with us, so there should be one more somewhere. But if our lost companion isn't here, then where could he be? He couldn't have run far. Well, we'll just have to brave these wilds a little longer, Koopo. If I can say one thing about my companion, is that he's quite adept at fleeing, Koopo. If it were me running, I'd go to the south. But no doubt that area is just crawling with dreadful creatures. Adventurer, we need you to look for any signs he was there. Or for any clues as to where he may have run to. If you find something, then it may be worth braving this region's cruel monsters. A black feather. How is that a clue? Ah, you're back at last. Did you find any sign of our friend, Koopo? Some black feathers in the Koopo nut. This is one of the presents we brought for Moghole Koopo. Just as I thought. He must have gone south. But just how far south? It's hard to imagine him running too far without resting his wings. Aha! These black feathers must belong to that giant bird that attacked. That means the bird might have flown off with the poor Moogle. We have to help him before he's eaten, or worse. Hurry, adventurer. We need to follow the bird's trail, Koopo. What's worse than being eaten? Is he taking me all the way around the map? Son of a bitch. Look, there's a whole flock of those birds here. If indeed our companion was kidnapped, he's like to be around here. Let's split up and look for him, Coco. He's higher? Oh. That is interesting, actually. I am the egg. Be the egg, Kubobo. Eggs don't get eaten. No, they don't. Be the egg. Oh no, I've been found out. Kubobo, don't eat me. I'm so stringy. Skin and bones. Oh, you're not one of those nasty birds. Thank heavens. I thought I was done for. Good thing I wasn't. Woogles are notoriously lacking in flavor, Kubo. Are they? You mean the others have come looking for me? I knew they wouldn't leave me here, Kupo. I'll return to them at once. Interesting that we can go inside the nests. That's what side quests do. They make you realize all these little details that you just don't see. Everyone's together at last, Kupo. We can finally make our way to Mogholm. I've grown quite tired of all these flying monstrosities, Kupo. This time, thanks to our trusty adventurer, we won't get lost on the way to Mogholm. Or not, for I've memorized your directions. Let us away, Kupo. Oh no. Oh no, he actually did go to Mogholm. Okay. I'll be there in a second. We do the other side quest first. Nice. A thousand pardons, Mr. Slenhart. Had I known you were planning to pay us a visit, I would have seen that you received the proper reception. A feast, perhaps, or at least a normal welcome with a man in full dress. You have more than earned it. One need only look to the pilgrims who come in their droves to pray before the relief to see the truth of that. Some abide in silence while others shed tears, not for sorrow, you understand, but for joy. Joy at being released from Nidog's torment.
Sir Redwald, the shipment has been unloaded and the quartermaster confirms that all supplies are accounted for. Mistress Leonhardt, are you here on official business? A journey to remember and reflect. Aye, much has changed since first we came here together. Since I abandoned you to follow the heretic's trail alone. Come, my lord. Mayhap you recall the survivor whom you carried back to the Falcon's Nest that day? Well, his wife but recently gave birth to their first child. Is that so? Well, well, mayhap I should pay him a visit. Though we would doubtless be honored, my lord, you need not put yourself to such trouble. Your responsibilities as Count surely leave little enough time as it is. Think not on that. I am still me, and you are still you. Whatever our respective titles, I would speak to you as a friend. This preoccupation with position and power has sown no end of discord between our two houses, to the great detriment of our nation. 'Tis especially galling when one considers that much of what we have achieved was by virtue of our blood and not our character. So call me Count if you must, but know that I take no pride in it. Mayhap one day, when I have earned it, I will, but not today. Still himself, is he? An honorable man mindful of tradition, he was loath to accept the assistance of a foreigner in exile, but when forced to confront bitter truths he looked within and found himself wanting. Pride be damned. Then, if it led one astray, he would set aside his prejudices and join hands with this gifted outcast for the greater good of Ishgard. The Supreme Tribunal of the Wanic Inquisitory Doctrine. Okay. I don't like having so many quests at the same time. Unless I'm doing them all at the same time, of course. Ah, yes. Or Alfino had to fight, right? Two foreign heretics against two knights of the Heavensward. Under the watchful gaze of the Fury they would fight, and the winner's claims would be proven true. It was the opening gambit of a greater game whose stakes would remain unknown for some time. The Hoplon? Where is that? I like that Ashot is doing something because she wants in this quest. You are Mistress Leonhardt, if I'm not mistaken.
We have met, though I am sure you do not remember. It was a seeming lifetime ago when you answered the Archbishop's summons. I often come here to reflect upon all that has come to pass, and when I saw you gazing at the Holy Vault, I thought perhaps that you had too. You turned our world upside down, everything we held dear, for change, for the truth. They say it had to be done, that His grace sought God would. If so, then perhaps it was the Fury's will that you prevail. But to say it, to believe it, I know that no man is without sin but he. He was pious and humble, wholly devoted to the church and to his people. I knew him, miss, and he was a good man. Wherever else he may have been, I will remember him as a good man. To walk the righteous path, to live for the sake of others, to rise to the highest station, yet remain powerless to bring an end to your people's suffering. What price salvation, then? What sacrifice beyond reason? For uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. Marwiv in Limsa. Okay. Sir?
Pashlot, this is most unexpected. You have business with the Admiral? A journey of remembrance, you say. Well, far it be from me to deny you. Announced or not, I suspect the Admiral would be most displeased if she heard that I had turned you away. No shit?
Thank the Navigator. I had resigned myself to another day spent listening to my advisors prattle on about the Beastman's latest movements. Come, Ashlot, tell me of your adventures. These guardians sail in uncharted waters, though I hope these new reforms of theirs meet with no resistance. It would not be the first grand voyage to run afoul of reefs ere it properly began. But with Sir Aymeric at the helm, they may yet chart a course for generations to follow. Which is not to say our own doesn't need correcting. The Alliance has grown complacent. The bloody nose you gave us at the melee showed me that. Nor have I forgotten the lessons of the banquet. Rest assured, we will root out any further turncoats before the dagger is at our back. You have my word on that, and Lady Ugary's besides. She had never been one to retreat, much less in the face of transparent theatrics. But this had been no ordinary battlefield, its rules of engagement anything but clear. So she would watch and she would learn, and in time she would act. Can I get a good screenshot, actually? Yeah. I don't get to be here that often.
Higiri in Revenant Stone?
Mr. Zashlot is on amiss. I am both flattered and surprised that you would remember my small role in this tale, given the grandeur of your subsequent endeavors. Though I must confess to having derived some selfish pleasure from donning the garments of the shinobi once more, I'm honored to have been able to assist in freeing General Raban from his captivity. And I believe I speak for all of my countrymen when I say that we are most grateful to have been granted the opportunity to contribute to the restoration of the Scions. Much has changed, it is true, and much may never be as it once was, but in watching you and yours rise from the ashes and rebuild, I am reminded that we must never give in to despair, for there is always something which may yet be saved. Will you be traveling to Ulda next? If so, I would ask a favor of you. I have prepared a special unguent to aid in General Rawan's rehabilitation. Injuries such as his must be tended to daily, even long after they have healed. You need only deliver it to his man, Commander Swift. He will see that the Flame General receives it. So what is this new event that's going on in Ulda? Oh man. My monitor is a little dirty. No. The Rising?
Why is everyone so noisy? What's the reward? An umbrella? Oh. Whatever. Let's go do it, I guess. Someone spamming Unleash? Yeah. Greetings, Ashlot. What is that you have there? Gent, I was not aware that General required such stuff. And one of our Doman friends made this for him, did she? Very well. I shall be sure to pass it on. Actually, wait here. We have just this moment concluded a meeting, and I expect he would be glad to speak with you before returning to the palace. So, Commander Swift tells me that you came all this way to deliver Ungent. Daily, she says. Ha! Well, mayhap it is best to be prudent. The gods alone know why you agreed to deliver it for her, though. Unless you mean to favor me with that rematch I requested? I jest, lass. You are on a journey of reflection, are you not? Aye, Myrtlewhip said as much. Now you want to relive the moment you pulled me from the pit Hilbert left me into rot. It shames me to think of it, that I was so blind to his hatred. Olorito tells me that it was not always so, that Hilbert admitted to him he once believed that I would return to El Amigo at the head of the army. But years passed and I did nothing. For all my accomplishments, for all my wealth, power, and influence, I did not to better the plight of my people. Not for lack of trying, but Hilbert didn't know. He thought the bull of El Amigo had grown fat and complacent. That my story set a bad example for our countrymen. Forget your homeland and chase the olden dream. A fine, impossible dream which gave men the strength to endure their hardships and try to make new lives for themselves here. So the dream had to die. You would kill me, stir up the disillusioned, harm them at the monetarist's expense, and then... Forgive me, the Sirens paid the price for my failings. The gods know I've no shortage of debts to repay, of vows to keep, and duties to discharge. But mark me well, lass, there will be a reckoning. Mayhap not today, mayhap not tomorrow, but a reckoning there will be. A refugee of a fallen nation, he had risen from the depths of poverty to claim a seat on the syndicate. Yet for all his great deeds, he was left undone. One was left undone. Like sands through an hourglass, the years slipped away, taking with them an old friend's hope. Oh, you're an adventurer, are you? Was there something I can assist you with? Now that I think about it, perhaps it is you who can assist me. I am Kipi Jakya, reporter for Gridania's leading tabloid, The Raven. Might I steal a moment of your time? So, here's the thing. Just recently, an unusual visitor cut through Gridania's markets like a scythe, in a frenzy to purchase every Nemea lily available, and I mean all of them.
For what purpose, I hear you ask? Well, my friend, I sense the answer to that question will provide the basis for my next scoop. So I did some nosing around. No one I talked to could put a name to our mysterious flower fancier, but by all accounts he and his cargo hold of lilies and departed for Ulda. Not wanting the trail to grow cold, I quickly grabbed my quill and notepad and boarded an airship myself, and was quickly reminded of how hard it is to chase a story in unfamiliar territory. You know this town and its people well enough, though, don't you? What say you to lending a hand to my investigative efforts? I'd be happy to. Wonderful. Then we've no time to lose. First things first, we pay a visit to the nearest drinking establishment. The local tavern is always the best place to pick up tidbits of gossip and rumor. Don't you need me to tell you where it is? Oh shit. The stage is back, I remember this. My, those are some serious faces. What can I do for you this fine morning? Oh, playing reporter, are we? Sounds like fun. Let's hear your questions then. We are attempting to track down a particular someone who purchased a suspiciously large number of the male lilies in Gridania before transporting them here to Ulda. Any idea of who this person might be? We've more than our fair share of traders coming and going, and the large shipment arriving in the city is hardly a noteworthy occurrence. But now that you mention it, I do remember this florid minstrel fellow who came in just the other day. Said he pulled in from Gridania and needed help hauling a hefty delivery to the Alchemist's Guild. He's actually a familiar face in these parts. Never did get his name though, strangely enough. A nameless traveler arriving from Gridania with a sizable cargo to move. That sounds promising. Like I said, it was just a request to move cargo. Before you run off to a possible dead end with the alchemist, I suggest you fish for more information inside the quicksand. After all, where else can you find so many gossipy adventurers crammed into one spot? That certainly makes sense. Between the two of us, however, I see no reason why we cannot do both. I will stay here and interview the clientele, while we chase down our other lead at the Alchemist's Guild. What do you think? Then that will be our plan. Once you've spoken with the potion mixers, make your way back here and we can discuss any new revelations. Why don't I stay here and you go?
Ah, my loyal assistant, what brings you to the guild at this hour? As if I paid attention to the mundane concerns of timekeeping. Have you some stimulating morsel of esoteric wisdom to share? You brought up questions? For a tabloid piece? Think you that I, a thrall to academic exertion, have even a moment to spare on such trivialities? Ah, but just a moment. Perhaps there is a shred of scholarly value to this after all. I vaguely recall the flamboyant character of whom you speak, and his request to process a vast quantity of floral material. 'Tis laughable that I would undertake such a menial chore. Of course, so I assigned the task to my subordinates. If you wish to discuss the tedious details, Dietrich is your man. Why? I should be delighted to assist you. This is regarding that large delivery of the male lilies. Yes, the guild did accept a task involving Zed flowers as commissioned by a nomadic minstrel gentleman. And though I cannot reveal the nature of what we produced, I can tell you that it shall be distributed amongst the populace as part of the events of the Rising. If you wish to know more, then might I suggest you speak to the gentleman himself? Shit. Step away, people. Adventurer, you're back. Did the alchemist offer up any new information? So to summarize, this famously unnamed minstrel of nomadic inclination commissioned the manufacture of some as yet unknown item to be handed out during the Rising. Oh, I heartily agree that we should speak with him directly, and as luck may have it, I've just discovered that he means to put on a performance at the Ruby Road Exchange. I think it's time for one of my patented on-the-spot interviews, don't you? If we hurry over, we can catch him before he takes the stage. I've met this person before, haven't I? Greetings, sir. I'm terribly sorry to interrupt, but you are the famous wandering minstrel, are you not? I am indeed. And look whom you brought to see me. Was there aught I might do for you fine people? I've been following you, to be perfectly honest. I am curious to learn more about the wagon load of lilies you turn over to the alchemists. Not to mention your plans to distribute the results of their work. You followed me? But how did you... I mean, why would you? Ah, a writer for the Raven. That explains much. And did you also learn what I tasked the alchemist to create? Is the coral out of the bag for all to smell? No, we were hoping you might tell us. Good, then my surprise remains unspoiled. The plan, if you must know, is to hand out bundles of potpourri to all and sundry during the Rising. As in flowers mixed with spices, that aromatic stuff you see in bowls on parlor tables and the like? The very same, except my potpourri will delight the eyes as much as the nose, thanks to the alchemical wizardry infused by my co-conspirators. Yet even without such enhancements, the scent of Nemea lilies is known to promote calm and tranquility.
The Rising is a time of remembrance, of mourning. It is a time when sorrow can overwhelm folk who lost friends and loved ones in the 7th overall calamity. It is my hope that the lily's gentle perfume will afford such burdened souls a modicum of peace during this oftentimes melancholy memorial. Oh my, what a genuinely lovely idea! Only just this moment we were making arrangements for a showcase of my humble talents, where I shall hand out potpourri bundles to the audience. Again, I am glad we met here. We met here you inadvertently spread word of our little surprise gift. I trust you now have sufficient detail to write your article? Oh yes, I have plenty to work with, thank you. Splendid. Now since you've joined the inner circle, so to speak, we must have you play a role in the performance. You needn't fret so. I merely wish for your assistance in passing out potpourri. I can supply the crowd at the show, but it would be most helpful if you might deliver bundles to some other part of town. Oh, we would be happy to, and it could only help me flesh out the story. Hey, a journalist is not supposed to be involved in the story. Let's head back to the quicksand adventure. If we hand out bundles there, then we can be sure to cover folk from every corner of the city. We were low on helping hands, to tell the truth, so this has worked out for the best. Please come and meet me at the Ruby Road Exchange once you've finished with your task. All this for an umbrella. What? Oh. Let's get to work, shall we? How is it a surprise if we're already handing it out? What is it you are giving out there, adventurer? Ah, I know the scent. Namail, yes. The flower is often placed on the graves of the fallen, a practice with which I am, alas, intimately familiar. Why choose this particular bloom? I see. Perhaps the perfume does remind one of the peace of repose, rather than the violence which took our companions from us. It would seem the minstrel has given the matter some thought. For a Cartano veteran such as myself, the season of the rising can be a torment, like the throbbing pain of an old wound. I will keep this bundle close, I think, and breathe in its calm whenever I feel my thoughts turning grim. Keeping busy there, ain't you, Ashlot? I know it's for the rising and all, but it tickles me to see a hero of your stature handing out presents like a simple errand girl. I mean, ever since the first time we met, you've always been the type to lend aid when it's needed, and you haven't changed one bit. Makes me happy it does, not to mention a little misty-eyed. The good you've done for folk will linger on, an unshakable foundation for your future. Keep going the way you're going, my friend, and we'll all be the better for it. Here, why don't you let me have whatever bundles you got left, and I'll put them together with the ones I took from your reporter friend. If we leave a basket out on the guild counter, I guarantee they'll hand themselves out before the rising is over. Mistress Momody took a goodly amount off my hands, but I think we've done our fair share of the work. We should go and see the minstrel and let him know we've completed our task. The reporter and their most qualified assistant returned. The performance went well, I must say, but what of your story research? Were the townsfolk willing to share any moving material? Yes, they were unexpectedly forthcoming. I was regaled with many an anecdote from those who lived through the calamity, and privileged to hear their treasured memories of those who did not. Back when the calamity was poised to strike, I had only just earned my reporter's quill. I was rushing around town, questioning adventurers and taking notes. But as the Allenwood descended ever lower, the streets erupted into chaos. It was then that I fled with my younger brother to the border and relative safety. There were a few less prudent friends and colleagues who might still be here if they had done the same. In the years since, the world has risen from the ashes. I've done my best to rise along with it, but there are things I cannot, nay, should not forget. Such are the thoughts which blossom in my mind when I breathe in that potpourri's perfume. I've enjoyed our collaboration this day, adventurer, and I shall attempt to write a piece that does it justice. What say you to Rising Calm as a title? How fitting. I look forward to reading it. I too sensed the stirring of a new composition, a hopeful verse dedicated to the continued safe passage of those who yet ascend the path out of catastrophe and despair. Greetings, warrior of light. Is this Endwalker shit? You needn't be alarmed. This is the world that exists outside your reality. Could it be a dream? A flight of fancy conjured by your weary mind? Perhaps. Or perhaps not. What a pleasure it is to welcome you here again, Ashlot. And what a privilege that your chosen trail should run alongside mine for so long. Oh, it's Yoshi P, right. On a day such as today, I hope you will forgive me a brief bout of nostalgia. I talked with him in the last rising. It has been an entire decade since I first came to this world. I was a stranger here, a traveler in a troubled land, and the quest for its salvation consumed my every moment. Countless trials were met and overcome, and the world not only survived, it flourished,
This victory we owe to those who persevered alongside us, to those who explored and nurtured and loved this realm as much as we. Yes, it is you of whom I speak, of our indomitable adventurers. 10 years is a long time, yes, but for me the number holds no special significance. It is simply a count of the passage of days. Success, however, would not have come without that accumulation of daily effort, and that is what makes it a milestone worth marking. Thank you for staying the course with us these many years. I will keep making plans for this world for the foreseeable future. It has become a part of my life, and to see it grow is an adventure in itself. Rest well, warrior of light, for a grand convergence of events approaches. May the road upon which you must embark become the greatest of all journeys. Until we meet again, my friend. What a moving rendition. And now I really must head home to write that article. You have my gratitude, Ashlot. I would still be floundering in the street without your assistance. Until we meet again. A great many lives were lost in the flames of the calamity, not to mention the chaos which followed. Yet it is the survivors who must face the challenges of living in this new era we have salvaged. To you, the champion in the vanguard of our efforts, I dedicate these verses. Scarred by the falling of fiery stars, the land is reborn with new life. God's slayer struck by an echoing roar, heavens ring with a promise of strife. Beast and man both seek freedom or death in bloody inferno untamed. By unbroken hopes, from a sky long undimmed, shall the darkness of Eld be reclaimed. A merciless gale, an unending road. If this be the path we are fated, then pray be our dawn in the rift betwixt worlds, your soul's splendid light unabated. I really must apologize for pressing you into service for my potpourri scheme. I tend to consider adventurers as fellow wanderers and call upon the assistance of your kind with little reservation. As for the gifts themselves, there was another reason as to why I chose the name lily. Traditionally, the bloom is said to represent a prayer for safe passage. The way ahead yet promises more hardship, and I wanted at the very least to wish you, all of you, the smoothest road for the coming journey. What's this? I like that Yoshi P inserts himself in the game in some of these events, or at least yearly, I guess. Alright, and it's 1.0 Minfilia. Achievement unlocked, what's that? Is everyone dancing around naked? What is this? How do you dress like Sailor Moon? It doesn't look right on me. I could dance too, but it's all Vieira's there. Party here, yeah. It's a seasonal event. Well, let me take a quick break. I'll be back in a bit. Well, the party is going on. This game is fun. They could be playing something more interesting, though. Not gonna lie. Is this the basic? It is. Oh. Well, I danced for a bit. I helped. I was part of the community. Weird champ. Yes. Nah, it's fun. I might actually leave my character dancing for a while when I leave. One thing it is very true, like, as much as I would like to play by myself, the fact that you you really don't run into rude people in this game really helps wanting to be part of it. It's not like you think the world is full of assholes. On the contrary, you just run into nice people and people just bros and brodettes broing around. Yeah, like exactly, like those people that were playing there, dancing, whatever, and they do this in every town all the time. It's cool to be part of it. By the Fury, is that you, Mistress Leonhard? Forgive me, but what reason could you possibly have for returning to this godforsaken place? Mayhap it is fate which brings you here on this day of introspection and reflection. We are come to Gorgain Mills to accept the surrender of a half-dozen heretics who once fought for Lady Iceheart. If you are intending to visit the cellars, I would ask that you do nothing to unsettle them. This is the crest that we built. Wait, I know you. You were at the amphitheater with the Dragon Slayer. I suppose we owe you an apology. When you came to us seeking to parley, we were sure it was a scheme to lure out Our Lady. We were sure about a lot of things. When she first shared her revelation, when she told us that she was not Saint Shiva reborn, we assumed it was a test. For had we not prayed for salvation? Had she not descended to deliver us from evil? She replied that our prayers were but fuel for a fever dream, a construct born of desperation and denial. She was no savior, she said. But when we marched upon Ishgard regardless, she pulled us from the brink of oblivion and implored us to find another way. And here we are, ready to lay down our arms at last. It's time. She considered you a friend. Had things been different, mayhap we could have been friends too. Farewell. Forsaken by gods and men, they found salvation in a revelation. They would take up arms against their own kind, to set ancient wrongs to right, cut out Ishgard's festering heart, and the war would be over. This they knew, believed with all their being, until their savior told them their efforts would be for naught. I still need the bird for Bismarck. And Knights of the Round, I guess? Well, if it isn't the great warrior of light herself. What's up with the Russian anthem? It was English. Well, if it isn't the great warrior of light herself, she who slew the dread worm Nidhogg, bringing an end to 1,000 years of war, and my very livelihood. Well, go on then, strike me down and finish the job. Stab me right in the heart. I'll even lend you my spear if you like. After all, I won't be bloody needing it. Sounds very Russian. A little, yeah. Tell me the truth. For a moment I had you fooled. Ye gods, as if I could hate the woman who rid us of Nidhogg. Oh, unless you worry that business about me losing my livelihood couldn't have been further from the truth. In point of fact, peace is proving surprisingly lucrative. As our nation's ties with Raisvolger's brood have grown stronger and our interests in Navania have begun to expand, we have seen a marked increase in the number of travelers on the road. Needless to say, said travelers require protection, which we are only too happy to provide. Welcome back. How was VR? Granted, such work will not earn you a lordship like slaying a dragon might, but it pays well and is far less prone to end in incineration, which seems a reasonable enough compromise, all things considered. As long as there are wars to fight, there will be those who take up arms, not out of hatred or even a sense of duty, but for want of better employment. When presented with alternatives, such individuals may gladly trade their swords for scythes, or failing that, pledge them to a more worthy cause. Good. Expect You to Die is so much fun. Nice, nice, nice. So Trau, you missed an entire stream. How do you feel about this? What stream? I mean, you haven't said hi this stream yet. You're technically not back. It's your first time here. Something the matter, lass? Nath giving you trouble? A journey of remembrance, eh? Gods, it feels like only yesterday that Ysael turned up in Tailfeather with you in tow, back into our lives and gone all too soon. Did I ever tell you how we found her 5 years back? In a torpor out in the forest all by her lonesome. Aye, well, we weren't about to leave her there, so we carried her back here and tended her to her till she woke up. Didn't say a word for days, Ysael. Just sat there and stared up at the sky as if the ground had held nothing for her. And it didn't, we learned, when she finally spoke. Now you might think she's not one to smile, but if you'd seen her in those years that followed, Then one day all of a sudden she says she's got a truth that must be shared, up in leaves for the gods know where. And that was the last we heard of her for a time. Redemption's not beyond us, friends. Come and hear the truth. Come and hear the Lady Iceheart speak. And they did, from far and wide. Or so the story went. Some said there was nothing in it, but I knew. I knew. I am new here. No, I just mean that the stream... I had a power cut and it's a different stream. I think, Ashlot, that deep down most folk want to do right by themselves and by others. And they try. Oh, how they try. You do, certainly, and so did she. Apologies. You came here to think on your own memories, not listen to mine. I take it the Nath are next. Right then, if we're to do this properly, you'll need to gather up your incentives, same as before. Case you've forgotten, that's a basket of fresh calum tree fruit, a good-sized jar of land-trap nectar, and a dirty great cartload of young Nunca flesh. Come on, lass, surely you can't be that bloody daft. You're more than welcome in their village already. Safe travels. I wonder if there's something interesting at the end of this one quest. Quest line. Hunter of dragons and gods, I bid you welcome. What would you ask of me this eve? What? We would have had no conception of what you speak. The one mind does not forget, but we do. It can be most distressing. You're not alone in this quest? You mean the chocobo's butt? Remember is not enough. One must strain and give words to memory and inscribe words upon parchment. This is the chronicle's calling. He wrote of how you came to lost us, Vath, and how you left to slay Ravana, and how the young hunter trained with the old hunter while you were away. We shall treasure these memories, this history you have given us, and when new Vath join us, we shall share it with them as well. Bound no longer to the will of the many, they were now free to walk their own path. Thus reborn, they would write the first chapter of a new history to be passed on to future generations. And as their culture grew older and richer, so too would their history, their story. Not their history. I doubt that person was doing the same quest I am. Friend of Izel, warrior of warriors, thou art ever welcome in any shrine. What bringeth thee to us this night? There is much wisdom to be gained from looking to the past, to walk off remembered paths and mark anew their twists and turns. We too do this, though not through pilgrimage, nor less the written word, beloved of thy historians. In song do we preserve the deeds of our lost and chronicle the passing of the ages. Naught hath greater power to stir our hearts, 'twas a dirge of profoundest sadness that roused Nidog's brew to action, a dirge which soundeth no more. Now a new song riseth to fill the void, one of hope rekindled, of war's end and peace's rebirth. I shall sing of thee and Isael ever after, that all may know and remember. Did you carry Arrow and Melty to winning? Of course, of course. You should have seen me playing PvP with Melty. In the chorus the fallen could rise once more, for none are dead whose names yet echo in the heavens, and the song would not end until the last voice fell silent. Heroes and villains, sinners and saints, all would live again. Never doubted you, ever. I am very dependable. By the way, since I platinumed Crisis, I am now playing Arkham Asylum Remastered with my dad. I can only play the games I already played with my dad. Because my grandmother feels like every time a character starts talking, she remembers that she's been silent for too long and she needs to start talking too. Which is great for enjoying a good story. The grandmother paradox. Indeed.
Well, yank my palm and call me a molebat. I certainly wasn't expecting to see you today. Still calling yourself Ashlot? Not that there's anything wrong with that, Kupo. Anyway, what are you doing here? Thank heavens for that. I was sure you were going to ask for help with yet another one of your sighting quests. But by all means, we'd love to pass the time reminiscing about the good old days. And when better than now, Kupo? What with your friends visiting and all, wait here and I'll fetch them. Ooh?
It is incredible though. I joke about it, but she keeps doing it.
Full glad am I to see you again, Ashlot, and in Mogholm of all places. Kupo, it really is you, and just when we were about to leave. I think it wonderful, this pilgrimage of yours, a final reflection upon the past, that you might face the future with eyes unclouded and a heart at peace. Few would deny that the events of recent days warrant such contemplation. When last we stood in this place, I dare say none among our number would have believed what was to follow. Young Estinian least of all. Upon learning what befell him at Aziz's law, I confess I thought him lost. But when Master Alpino told me of your great struggle and of his salvation, I was reminded of your talent for the impossible. If you ask me, he seemed altogether too stubborn to die, though I suppose it is no small feat to evict a spite-filled worm once it has made its home in one's head. With Nidog's passing, the children of Ishgard and Dervania may at last look to the future. It is my hope, however, that they will not forget the deeds of history, nor the many thousands of lives lost in their conflict, for only through remembrance will they avoid the mistakes of the past. We thank you again for your hospitality, Chieftain Moglin, and pray that you will one day allow us to extend you the same courtesy. I wish you well on your journey, Ashlot. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal. Until we meet again, Kupo. Even in the farthest reaches of distant, dangerous lands, one may chance upon a friendly face. Though given to mischief and largely unconcerned by the troubles of the outside world, they came to understand Ishgard's plight and agreed to lend their aid. Eventually, that is. Oh, adventurer, welcome back, Kupo. Were you able to find the 12-Wood Muggles? It's wonderful to meet you. My name is Kooply Cookie. There are so many islands above the sky, it took us forever to find the right one, Kupo. I'm just glad everyone was able to get here safe, Kupo. The name's Mogul. Welcome to Mog Home. Mogul? What a strange name. And you say Kupo, not Kupo. Kupo? Oh, I almost forgot. We brought gifts for you to solidify our certain friendship. They are quite the delicacy, Kupo. You don't need to bring a gift. Oh, these are Kupo nuts. You've seen these nuts before? They're only found amongst the thick wooden boughs of the Black Shroud, Kupo. There's nothing more tasty in all of Eorzea. They're so firm, Kupo. But look, there's one hanging from that branch there. The Muggles of Moghome work diligently to keep our nuts safe. I shudder to imagine what we would do without them. I am 5 years old, guys. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. It's rather generous. 5-year-old in the body of a 30-year-old, yeah. I'm curious, could these be the selfsame nuts found in the Black Shroud, Kupo? Let's see here. Amazing! To think our Kupo nuts would be alike as peas in a pod. Well, this visit is proving to be more interesting than I could have imagined, but there's still much to learn. Let's go visit Shift and Moglin, Kupo. I was just there. Hmm? Muggles of the 12'Wood, welcome to Moghome. Although your journey has surely been long and tiring, I would like to solidify our friendship by telling you the story passed down through generations in Moghome. Listen well, for we may find that which binds us together, Kupo. Long, long ago, a great continent floated above the clouds, and we Muggles all lived together in happy harmony. But one day all creation was consumed by a raging tempest that spanned the whole of the heavens, and the once great continent was smashed into countless smaller ones. The islands were too small for the Muggles to continue living together as one, and to ensure the happiness of their brethren, the brave explorers set off on a journey to a new land and a new home. Or so the story goes, Kupo. Amazing, Kupo. The 12'Wood Muggles have a similar story. Oh, How does it go again? Once upon a time our ancestors lived among the heavens in harmony, until one day the gods up high began their petty squabbles, throwing a once peaceful land into a tumult of chaos, Kupo. And thus did the last king of Mughal-kind, good King Mughal Mog the 12th, may his memory live on for eternity, lower down a rope so long it could reach the surface, guiding his troubled subjects to a new home. But he, in all his benevolence, remained behind to ensure the rope stayed strong for any stray Mughals. There's not so much difference between the stories of Moghom and the Twelveswood after all. Both tell of Mughals coming down from the clouds into the surface. They must be talking about the same thing, Kupo. Maybe the Mughals of the past brought Kupo nuts with them. That's why the Kupo trees are exactly the same. So that means once long ago, our ancestors lived happily together, Kupo. To think we all come from the same ancestors, Kupo. Adventurer, thank you for guiding our Twelveswood friends here. Today will forever live on as a momentous day in Mughal history. Well, I suppose now it's time to get our friends acquainted with their home away from home. Moghom, Kupo. There's so much to see and so much to talk about. I can hardly wait. To think the legends are actually true. Our ancestors did indeed come down from the skies, Kupo. I'm sure Mogul and the others will get along famously. But don't you think the Mughals here have such strange names? There are so many Mughals with names like Margaret and Mogmug, but one is named Kuplokop. No one is named Kuplokop or Kuptakapta. I wonder why. Chieftain Moglin seems to know much about Mughal history. Maybe he can shed some light on this mystery. But I'm so nervous around chieftains, Kupo. But you, adventurer, you've rubbed shoulders with all kinds of great characters, and Chieftain Moglin respects you. I'm sure he'll readily tell you all about Moghom names, and then you can tell me.
Asking the important questions. Oh, shit. Oh, I thought you finally come to your senses and acknowledge the heavenly ring of Moghom names, Kupo. That pleases me greatly, but I must ask you to wait. It seems Moglu was an urgent entreaty. Yes, Chieftain Moglin. The Palm Guard is fighting a desperate battle against a gang of monsters swarming our precious Kuponut orchard. We have beaten them back for now, but I fear we're outmatched, Kupo. Luckily we have just the one to help. I shall lend the Palm Guard your strength, and mayhaps I will speak more with you about our Mughal names, Kupo. The defense of our Kupo trees is of the utmost importance. Speak with Moglio of the Palm Guard to learn where he needs you. Once these monsters have been dealt with, ask me again about the knowledge you seek, Kupo. Oh, adventurer, it's so good to see you again. As you can see, Palm Guard business has me terribly busy these days. Speaking of which, where did these monsters go? Oh, you'll help us rid the area of those dreadful things. Moglio sounds like Mario? Maybe.
Thank heavens this sword was getting so heavy. We're fighting valiantly to drive off the invaders. There are 2 of them, so our paws are full, Kupo. The Palm Guard have their paws tied with one, while Mogul and the 12 Zoot Muggles are trying their hardest to track down the other. The Muggles from the surface have more courage than I thought, Kupo. I'll go help the other members of the Palm Guard, adventurer. Hurry and make sure Mogul and the others are safe. The monster was just around here. It can't be far. We have it cornered, Kupo. I saw it fly over here. We'll find it soon, Kupo. Oh, you're here to help? Well, we drove that monster over to the southeast. I don't think it managed to steal any Kupo nuts. I had it in my sights, but it flew away, Kupo. Where could it be?
It's a Gaily cat? I guess it is high level. Muggles and Gaily cats are mortal enemies, huh?
That beast was no match for the likes of the Palm Guard, Kupo. With the threats to our precious Kupo nuts gone, the orchard is safe. Those monsters were so strange. Odd-looking wings, curious, pointed ears. I don't know where they could have come from, Kupo. Oh, they might have followed us here, Kupo. We're sorry. We didn't mean to bring such rude guests with us. Well, as long as the Kupo trees are safe, then there's nothing to worry about. Thanks to our new friends from Twelvewood, not one nut was disturbed, Kupo. Let's report our success to Chieftain Moglin. He'll want to thank everyone who helped protect our prized trees.
I do love jumping down from that hole.
Ah, you've returned at last. Are the Kupo nuts safe from harm? Those malicious monsters won't be laying their paws on our nuts anymore, Kupo, thanks to the help of the 12 Zoot Muggles. Ah, it's so nice to see you working together to defend our home, Kupo. Well, now that the storm has been weathered, I believe Ashla wanted to know all about Mughal names. Hopefully it will serve as an inspiration to her. Actually, Chieftain Moglin, I was the one who asked the adventurer to ask you. I was thinking, isn't it curious that our names sound so different from yours, Kupo?
David likes when Mughals talk about their nuts. Yes.
In the Twelveswood, we usually start our names with Ku or Poo. They say it's because it makes the name sound like Kupo nut. Mayhap when the Mughals came down from the sky, the Kupo nuts were their most prized possession, Kupo. But the Mongol Mughals love Kupo nuts too, so I've wondered why their names are different. You're quite perceptive, Kupliku. Cookie, truth be told, I've never thought about the reason myself. Would it not make sense for Mughals to start their name with Mog? It's been that way for as long as anyone can remember, Kupo. My ancestor, who was Mogholm's first chieftain, was named Mogul, and in fact it was he who decided which brave Mughals would travel down to the surface with their fire rain from the skies. Mogul, that name seems so familiar, Kupo. Mogul Mog? Could Chieftain Mogul have in fact been Mogul Mog? If so, Chieftain Moglin, you would be a descendant of good King Mogul Mog the 12th. May all his lineage bask in greatness. Indeed, the two names are quite similar, Kupo. Mogul Mog, I remember this was the name of the king from your legend. It all makes sense, Kupo. The legend is so ancient, it's no wonder the name changed ever so slightly. That means I'm presenting myself before the descendant of the last king of Mughal-kind. The legends tell of more than just a king, Kupo. The valiant household guard of good King Mogul Mog the 12th, may his legend live on forevermore, is also detailed at some length. Does that mean that the Palm Guard is also... The history of the Palm Guard is long and illustrious, dating back to Chieftain Mogul's humble beginnings, Kupo. Kupo! That means his household guard was actually the Palm Guard. I'm among some of the most historic Mughals of all time. I never knew we were so important. How embarrassing. Oh, I almost forgot. We never thanked you for helping us take down those dreadful monsters, Kupo. For all your brave services in defense of our lovely orchard, and in celebration of our newfound friendship, we shall bequeath upon you 1 Kupo nut each. Kupo, I could think of no better reward myself. Our stomachs will be full tonight.
So if they didn't help, they would just let them starve? Some allergy medicine. I'm on a timer before I pass out, pretty much. Is it the outside? The crackling warmth of Alfinote's campfire, the savory waft of Esail's bubbling stew, the soft snoring of Moghand asleep on the grass. Yeah, allergies are terrible for me this time of year. I hope you feel better, man. I won't be live much longer. A cold wind blew that night as well, and on the morrow they mounted the steps and blew the horn. But having climbed to the summit with hope in their hearts, they descended dejected, weighed down by truths too grim to contemplate. I really like this quest line. Most times Ashlot is just doing whatever people tell her to, so... it's good that it changes up a bit. It's really nice. My lip is like cracking. You over there! Over here, quickly! That's not the right voice. I should have known you would see through my disguise. But enough talk, we cannot linger here, lest the guards recognize their Sultana. Danamo, do you want to die again? As you may have deduced, I was taking the air outside the palace when I saw you standing there, staring off into space. Have you something on your mind? I understand completely. So much has happened. So much has changed. And all in so short a space of time. Even now I struggle to make sense of it all. But one thing, at least, is abundantly clear. I owe you an immense debt of gratitude for all you have done on my behalf, and on behalf of those whom I hold dear. After I awoke, Papashan told me everything. It was a lot to take in, but nothing could prepare me for what Lord Lolorito had to say. That ruthless, manipulative swine came before me and expressed regret for what had come to pass, and, thinking to make amends, offered all of Adelegi's assets, as well as half of his own personal fortune to the crown. And I accepted. Long did I debate how best to use his wealth. There is no end to the troubles facing our nation and no shortage of worthwhile causes, yet none among our people have suffered more than the refugees, and it is they who shall be the first to receive aid and succor. There is also the matter of the terrible wrongs committed against you and yours, for which I am in large part responsible. Nay, do not protest. It is the truth. Accordingly, I have set aside monies to aid in the Scion's rebuilding, if you would have them. That would be most welcome. Thank you, Your Grace.
Pray do not thank me, not after all you have suffered. And know that I do not think to atone for my mistakes with money. It is but a tool which I would see put to good use. Oh, listen to me. So much for enjoying a moment's respite outside the palace walls. It rather seems as if I have brought my responsibilities with me. I suppose I should return. Lady Lilira! Lady Lilira! You must come home at once. Father is worried sick, you know. Confound it. You lot, search this area. I know she came through here. On the other hand, it is essential that a ruler see firsthand how her subjects go about their daily lives, and I have not visited the markets in weeks. It would seem a shame to let this opportunity go to waste. Ashlot, might I impose on you to have a brief yet cordial conversation with those sultans sworn? I leave the choice of subject matter up to you. Take care. I like Hanamo. I still think it's kind of bullshit that she didn't really die. But I like her. I beg your pardon, miss, but did you perchance see a young Lolofelian noblewoman pass this way? Are you certain? Oh dear, oh dear. Master Pepshin said this might happen, but I never truly believed he was serious. Wait, I know you. You're Ashlot. Ashlot Leonhard. What a stroke of luck. I can think of none better qualified to help us. You see, it is no mere noblewoman that we seek. But Master Papashen was most explicit about the need for secrecy. Pray forget I mentioned that. We will find the lady on our own. What cruel fate to lose our father as a child, and be compelled to rule in his stead. And how the years had tempered her dreams and taught her, sometimes brutally, the price of naivety. Though outwardly unscathed by her ordeal, it was a wiser and more wary Nanamo who reclaimed the throne. There you are, Ashlot. Higiri told me of your pilgrimage. I knew it was only a matter of time before you sought me out. I too have been reflecting on the choices which shaped my path. When I took to the road with my grandfather, when I joined the Crystal Braves, when I tried and failed to warn you before the banquet, I had my suspicions about Wildred's death, and it was the work of a Garlean spy within our ranks, but I could not be sure who was involved, hence my desire to speak with you in private. I thought long and hard about how to approach you without arousing suspicion. Mayhap took too long. Eventually I decided to arrange a meeting through Mistress Malmedy. Little did I know that bastard Laurentius had seen me to do it. Shortly thereafter the fourth received urgent summons. Needless to say, I had no choice but to answer, and soon found myself at the mercy of Captain Ilberd's band of traitors. They confined me to the Rising Stones along with others still loyal to the Scions. Riol, Camille, Argmus. Quite what they planned to do with us, I couldn't say. Mayhap they thought we would turn given the time. The fools. Lieutenant Yuhaze bid the third keep us under constant guard, but when Captain Ilbert moved to carry out General Roban's execution, they were forced to withdraw all but a token force, which we took by surprise one night, and then it was over. One might argue that it turned out better than it had any right to, all things considered. Still, there are nights when I lie awake wondering if I had done things differently. If I had been more careful or more decisive, what then? But there is naught to be gained from thinking thus. We must count our blessings, must we not? We are still here, and most of what was broken can be rebuilt. You see, Ashlot? You will see, Ashlot. You will see. For the freedom of all, it had begun with an oath and ended with a betrayal. As the conspirators turned on their comrades for coin and country, the good and true were beaten and imprisoned or else butchered where they stood. But even in their darkest moments, they never stopped believing that the dawn's light would shine again. I wanted to leave this quest when it goes to one of the areas that I still haven't cleared. Leave this quest today. Why, hello there, Schlotz. Fancy meeting you here.
Reminiscing about the glory days, eh? Why, we spent many a sleepless night hammering away in that corner of yours. How's your minute cutter holding up, by the way? Huh, that's good to hear. Not that I had any doubts, like our craftsmanship's second to none.
Quite right. It will take more than swirling winds and raging dragons to bring her down. And that, my friend, is an ironworks guarantee.
Speaking of which, on the back of the field's test success, we've gone ahead and licensed the design for mass production. Soon the Skysteel manufactory will be churning out mana cutters by the dozen. Which is why we're here today. As a matter of fact, to make sure their mechanists don't bugger anything up.
Apparently, adventurers have been queuing up to place an order, and even some sky pirates. Just imagining the sea of clouds steaming with our creations fills me with a father's pride.
Right then, that's enough patting ourselves on the back. We got to make sure the cutters are up to snuff, or Jesse will never let us hear the end of it. From now till we finish, there will be no more breaks, distractions, and not one wink of sleep. Did you hear me?
Oh, fucking card chocobo.
Well, we'll leave you to it till next time, eh?
Despite the many hardships they had endured, or perhaps because of them, they greeted every new challenge with a smile. Their workshop, their battlefield, their tools, their weapons, they invariably rose to the occasion, delivering ingenious solutions to seemingly insoluble problems. Still more here.
Through tempestuous winds they carved the path, breaching the dread worm's sanctum, and there did they put him to the sword. And in the wake of hard-fought victory were secrets laid bare in a vision dark and disturbing. The legacy of the fathers bequeathed to their sons and passed down through the generations. Old blood enduring in the new, the mark of original sin. No. Not Camp Dragonhead. At least I hope all the Moogle quests are done. And there she is at last. Gabrielon said you were wandering all over, reminiscing about days gone by. Seems a bit soon if you ask me. It's not like I don't understand though. Some days I'll be walking through the broom, same as normal, and it'll hit me all of a sudden just how much has changed for us. Though I know it's a bit different from what you've been through. Puts me in mind of the first time I saw her and her friends up near the Aetheorite, being shown around by that house Fortemps man. Oh, you never told me you'd met before. It weren't so much a meeting as a heckling, to be honest. When I heard their guide warning them off paying a visit to the room, it stuck in my craw. And you've got to admit that Master Alphinaud's the spitting image of a snotty little lordling. A little lordling that went on to fight 2 knights of the Heavensward with Ashlot here in a trial by combat, not to mention helping retake the vault from the True Brothers. Fury of mercy. It feels like a bleeding lifetime ago, don't it? Because it was. What we got now is nothing like what came before. It's a bleeding rebirth is what it is. Cold comfort to the folk who died getting us here. Still, this peace is ours, and we owe it to ourselves to make the most of it. Meaning we got to work twice as hard to make the broom a better place, and no more harassing blue bloods neither. Huh? A world apart from the opulence of the pillars, they had toiled, shrouded in the haze of the broom, sentenced to a life of hardship by birth. They dreamed of revolution as children dream of fairies. Then one came and went, and they suddenly found themselves with a seat at the table. Alright, visit Lonovano at Oxzundo. This is where we stop. I'll return later. I always quit in Gridonia. Guys, thank you so much for watching and hanging out. I hope you enjoyed more of Heavensward. I'll be back tomorrow, and I think we have some interesting side quests ahead. that will unlock some raids. So, yeah. Have a good night. Thank you for hanging out, and we'll be back tomorrow. Goodbye.